and I wanted to tell you about my sister. She is very messy. She's a very messy person. She has clothes all over her room, and you could barely fit another person in the car. Her car had crap all over the place. And it's funny, I'm very different. I'm a very neat person, have things a certain way. But my sister has OCD, which stands for obsession compulsion disorder. So that kind of came about in, she was first kind of confronting it when she was in high school, and it was really difficult for us kind of as a family kind of figuring out what that meant. So for her it was a lot, it was her relating kind of things with places, and the germs that related kind of stuck to that. So, that meant maybe that she only sat in one place in our living room, that was her spot, we didn't go there. Or it meant that if she wore clothes out, to a certain place, she wouldn't wear them again. So she kind of started figuring out what were these things, why were they happening, and so it was hard at first, but she went to doctors, and with the right balance of medication and therapy, she really found how to just make it keep living her life, really. That was most important. But something that has always kind of frustrated me is when, people, if maybe they like their clothes folded in a certain way, or always have to use a pen instead of a pencil, sometimes they'll use the phrase, I just am OCD like that. And it was always hard for me because I didn't understand how, because for me the experience of my sister having OCD was not what they were alluding to. So I always got a little annoyed by that because, being neat and being anal is not synonymous with me having OCD. So I guess that's just something I kind of hope that people will kind of realize, that OCD manifests its way differently for every person, and it's not just, my sister, she was neat. I mean, she wasn't neat, she was messy. She just, I was the neat one, but she was the one with OCD, so it's not the same. So I just want to kind of break that kind of misconception about OCD, and about, what it means, how it means something differently for each person. I guess my advice would be, first of all, listen to what their perspective is, because I think for me, at least at first, it was very hard to understand why, she couldn't touch certain things or under things like that, and just understand that their perspective is valid and important, and that that's just the way they need to live, and that, that can still happen within your realm. So if, it's just, if someone had crutches, you would just be there for them, going up the ramp or whatever. So that's kind of how I think about it. Just know their perspective and how you can help facilitate your role in their life. I guess in this instance where we're addressing an issue that a lot of people face on stage, kind of gives people a chance to, for those in the audience, to kind of really have a lens into, someone else's life that they might not experience in their everyday. And if maybe they do know someone similar to that they can kind of take some other people's kind of reactions and their kind of opinions about what was happening, and kind of see how that may be relevant or not relevant in their own lives. So I think it's an opportunity for everyone to kind of look at this maybe with a step back, but I think with that step back, it opens up the room for discussions that people may not have initially had about these issues.